so when he was having something, he said it would be an octopus. Or when he said that, I said, oh my God, I mean, they're saying something wrong. If somebody else could hear, then it's like, actually hurting somebody else's feeling. So immediately another person came up and said, how can you say that? How dare you say that? You know who that is? So he said, can you explain to me how can any human being have 8 arms? So they were having an argument. I went up and said, nobody had 8 arms. It's symbolic. Symbolic in the sense it represents 8 powers that she experienced in her life to destroy Durgun within her. Durga means Durgun. The ones which are, the traits which are not helping her, she could destroy within herself beautifully with these 8 powers. And these powers, it seems she got it from God, so she's called Shiv Shakti. And what helped her the most are these arms at the right time. Right? So that is why they show 8 arms. Not that it represents violence, but it represents killing the demons within her. So those are these 8 arms we're going to talk about today. The first one you will see there, a boy is throwing stones. Can you see from behind? You can't see this. You can come forward. You can put a chair if you want. So you can see. So the boy is throwing stones at a tree, and the tree is giving fruits. So the question arises that if someone will keep throwing stones at us and we keep giving fruits, what is the point? You can see. This is the picture. So we call this power of tolerance. So when we say power of tolerance, then the question arises, how is it that if someone keeps on throwing stones at us and we keep giving fruit, so they will continue to throw. People will keep taking advantage of us, and there's a limit for tolerance. Some would say, if you are actually tolerating so much, you would end up diseased. You can have some mental breakdown. You can't go on like that. And whomever we have seen who have been tolerating all their life are not happy. They're not happy people. So how can you say this is something healthy? How can it be considered something that we should apply in our lives? Because people are getting stressed out because they have to tolerate. See, the very picture has an answer. The boy is throwing stone at the tree, and the tree is giving the fruit. But if there was a boy in the place of the tree, he would throw a stone back again. He would not keep quiet, he would take a stone and throw back. But the thing is, the tree actually experiences no difference by that stone, because it has a very strong foundation. It does not eat its own fruits. And that one particular stone doesn't hurt the tree, and the tree doesn't fall down. The tree is not bothered. And so, it is considered tolerance. Tolerance is not something that you experience pain and suffering and you can talk about it to 100 people about it. That is not tolerance. We grow up in families where you have a mother or a grandmother or somebody, even a parent or somebody. They share stories about what all they went through in their life. How difficult it was with the in-laws, or how difficult it was with the friends, I don't know what. But they keep sharing these stories. And we grow up listening to these stories. That means to say there was no tolerance there. There was a lot of suppression. Suppression has a limit. How much can you suppress? How much capacity do you have to put it in? How much you can do that? Tolerance is, you won't know. If I were to ask you, Nanda, can you tell me those times when you really tolerated in your life? You will share all those moments where you have suppressed, because you have felt the pain. But you will not be able to remember those times when you have tolerated, because you have not experienced pain. And that does not mean you have not tolerated. Somebody else would note and they say, my God, how can you tolerate? It's a when did I tolerate? There was nothing there. A couple had come to me long back, and she said, I'm very upset with my husband because they have a joint business with he and his two brothers. The father is no more. So he was saying that all the time, she was saying that the youngest brother, he's very flamboyant. And he buys big cars and has his foreign trips and all. So they have the money which is pooled in, the profit. He takes some chunks of it and then he uses it for all this and nobody stops at it. The older one, he has a, the one is a small car, it's not really luxurious and big one. And we don't go for such holidays, we go to Ooty and things like that. And so the mother is watching all this and she won't talk about equality, she doesn't stop him and he keeps quiet and does not put his foot down. And that is wrong. So he says, I don't need a big car. If you want me, I'll buy. What is the point of going and explaining anything to him? Because we're not going to change his flamboyant ways. It's okay. So she's very upset and she tells my sister, after listening to this part, she said, I don't think he can, he's tolerating, he's suppressing. If he can't stand up for truth, he must be suppressing. And so how do I know? He should understand that whether he's suppressing or tolerating, he should know. What is a sign that somebody is tolerating and somebody is suppressing? What is a sign? I told him it's simple. If you see someone, actually suppressing, you look at them and you think, how much they're putting up? Kitna bardash kar rahe hain. Bichare. How much they're putting up with this. That feeling comes when you see them. But if somebody is tolerating something, you look at them and you think, I wish I'm like this person. Should be asar nahi hota hai, farak nahi padta. How nicely they look on here. मैं क्यों हर चीज मन में रखती हूँ, So when we are taking our own thoughts make us know whether somebody is tolerating or suppressing. So she said, sister, every time I see him, I think, why am I not like him? I said, that is what it is. He's being tolerated. Because you can't suppress too long. It is very, very dangerous. For the health, for the mind, for everything. It's very dangerous. So I remember when I was in school, I used to pick up a friend and go on the way. Every time I would go, her mother would be shouting at her daughter so much, every day. I think she would have been very tense to pack up food and I don't know what it was. She was screaming and shouting at the girl for all small things. I refused to go inside the house and stand outside because I was not comfortable. One day, I asked the girl, what is the problem? Why does your mother shout so much? It's really something wrong. So she looked at me and she said, are you taking my mom seriously? I said, I'm not supposed to. She said, no, she doesn't mean what she's saying. Don't take it to your heart. She's like pretty okay with the whole shouting. And I thought I'm making myself a fool and taking so much to my heart. So the whole concept is, I met her mother. She stays here, close by. And recently, this girl is married and she's in Singapore. She's married and children. So I was talking to the mother and she was saying, Telugu, she's saying, the one who's really understood me is my daughter. The one who's here, my son, he doesn't understand. He keeps on digging the past and saying, Ma, you said this to me, you said that to me. But she is understood. So if I were to call up Meena, my friend in Singapore, and ask her, you have really tolerated your mother, she'll say, when? She'll say, when did you know? She won't even know. When you suppress, you will know and you will know and you will know. And you'll repeat and talk about it even today. So, we don't get strength through suppression. We lose. And to tolerate, we need a lot of strength. It's a power. See, somebody, I was mentioning there also, somebody is as much weight as me, but has been building muscles. He can lift 20 kids as well. I can't do that. It's how much practice that kind of thing and it's become powerful. Physically powerful. Same way, I need to become spiritually powerful so it becomes easy to tolerate. Instead of suppressing and thinking of, because when you suppress, there's a storm of thoughts. You can't stop it. So this is the first power. One of these weapons they show in their hand. Because I'll tell you, tolerance is just not about yourself. If you suppress others to more, they misbehave more, irritate you more, make your life more difficult, and when you suppress, because what you're thinking is reaching out to them. Automatically it is reaching out to others. What you're speaking, no, it's like you're keeping quiet, not saying a word. It's not tolerance. Inside there's a tufan, inside that you're burning. So that is not tolerance. The more you're tolerating, it makes a difference for others. They will stop making your life difficult. They will stop creating problems for you automatically. Even whether you're tolerating your pain, tolerating a relationship, tolerating anything. I'll give you an example. One lady I knew, she was meditating for 3 years, and they had come from Machine Park side, and they came to Film City, and they made a beautiful house. They built a house, and they made it especially for the son, because he was getting married. And so he got married to a girl here from Punjab. She stays in the same city. And the day she got married and came to the house, a different behavior started coming out. As soon as she comes home, she says, all my expensive clothes has to be sent back home because the dry cleaners name my place is better. My mother knows how to take care of my clothes. His mother-in-law, she said, so she sent everything, and then all the clothes are being taken care. And then suddenly she says, I don't like this mirchi ka khana, it's too much spicy food you make, very healthy, so I need my cook back home who knows how to cook nice food, उनको पता है, उनको हम बुला लेंगे, तो ठीक है, बुला लो, उसमें क्या है, हम पे करेंगे, वो भले बनाए, तुम प्यार से खाओ ना, जो भी. I think the kind of food my cook cooks, my husband also should eat that only. So the boy got irritated. He went up to the mother and said, Ma, I want to eat what you cook. I like spicy food. She said, just keep quiet. You want problem on problem. Let her first adjust now. So I'll keep in the fridge. You eat it. What is that? First you eat whatever the cook makes. What's your problem? He said, I'm like a stranger in my own house. He said, no. They come. The person who was disturbed the most was the daughter. Married and lives away. But she's disturbed. She feels the mother has been taken advantage of, and the mother has been ill-treated by the daughter-in-law, and my mother has to put up with this nonsense. She would come to me and cry all the time. So I would tell them, I would talk to the mother and say, she keeps crying. She said, tell her I'm okay. One day she says, the daughter-in-law, another tantrum, she says, my father-in-law entertains people all the time. His friends are in the living room. I have no privacy to take care of my friends. All the time to eat out. So the mother-in-law, because she is very strong, she said, no, we will have another living room. It's practical. She cut the lawn and she made a living room for the girl. Because she's so strong about it, nobody could question. But everybody is getting very irritated that why this girl is like that. So she had a living room, she's entertaining her friends and all that. So that's all fine. And suddenly she says, bedroom se kitchen kitna dur hai, kya banaya ghar. Wahan se I have to roam around and come to the kitchen. The house is huge. You can't expect it to be one close thing. So the husband got so wild and he said, "ठीक है, बच्चों का गाड़ी दिला दूँगा. I'll just give you a गाड़ी to come from the kitchen, from the house to the bedroom to the dining room." He said, "Okay." He shouted. So she got so upset and locked herself in the room, not coming out, not eating. So the mother-in-law and father-in-law thought, "That's okay." I think she should feel that this is her own home. अब बनाए तो भी for him only, no? So this is we are going to the village. They planned it such a way that they want to live together. It's the only son they have. But they left and went back to the village and district where they have their own house. So they're staying there. So I think about 6 months later or something, I see that somebody comes to the center. So one of the sisters comes and says, "Please come," and she's asking for you. I'm like, what? I've never seen her. And I asked her, "Who are you?" She said, "I'm so-and-so's daughter." But so, "How come you're here?" She said, "I took your number from my sister-in-law, but I lied to her that I want a number for someone else. But actually it is for me." So, "What's your problem?" "Sister, I have a problem with the in-laws." "What It's a problem. They stay with you. They don't stay with you. So they stay in the village, but they come at least twice or something in the month for health checkup or a wedding or a shopping or something. But what be problem there? I mean, you don't want them to visit you also. Because I've heard so much about her. So you tell me what is the problem? And she says, sister, my problem is they are such wonderful people, my in-laws, such wonderful people. Every time they come, I'm scared, because I don't have control over my behavior, I might misbehave and hurt them again. Do you think meditation will help me to change my behavior? When you tolerate truly, people change. They change. So if I were to call up the mother-in-law and ask, Mataji, what tolerate kiya? She said, well, kab kiya? When there is love, that pain, it's not tolerance. A lot of people say, I am not tolerating, but if you are tolerating, you don't talk about it. You don't talk about it at all. And don't think you've never tolerated. You have, but you've never spoken about it. You don't even remember. Okay? This power is here. If any questions about this power? As you're meditating, you will see that gently coming into life. You require a lot of maturity. And you will get that, and you will see, I am tolerating now. The things that would affect me yesterday so much, I'm calmer in those areas. You will see that. This is the first one. No questions about it? Second power, you can see.
One small question. If the other man is wrong in saying so, but still you have to tolerate or you can react.
See, that comes later. I'll tell you about it. Then comes the power to accommodate. And the power to accommodate is a power where you can see the ocean is taking all the rivers within it and accommodating a whole lot of it within itself. It means to say I should have so much space within me that I'm able to take problems and situations and weaknesses of everyone and accommodate it. Accommodating in the sense that I'm not troubled by it to that extent that, I have to speak about it all the time or I have to show it in my behavior. People who do not have the power to accommodate, they have to talk about the problems too. If somebody tells you a secret, they have to spread it to 10 people. You can't accommodate everything. One person will say one thing, they'll have to go tell somebody, today he said this to me and she did this to me. They have to talk, they have to tell. They cannot keep it down. One lady, her daughter jumped from the first floor of a building to go and meet her friend, one boyfriend. So they're very troubled because she was in the same room sleeping, the mother, and she didn't even know. So the father is so upset with her. What kind of sleep you have? And you're there because she's studying for exams. You're taking care of her. And she jumps and you don't know. So then she came to me and she's talking to me. Sister, I said, "Kaise jump करते हैं? If anything would happen, all that is going on." As she's talking, her husband's relative, very close relative, was also coming to the course with his family. So they came and stood there, waiting for me so that I can talk to them. She's loudly speaking about the girl. She's just not able to stop. So I'm giving her ishara, gesturing. Yeah, there, you should not talk. She's continuous. So what kind of a mother are you? She's a girl or boy or you're continuously talking and you can't even control. That man is listening, no? So I told her, why I did not know. I didn't realize this. You cannot realize. She jumped 100 times for telling. So she said, sister, I can't accommodate. I can't. I just can't keep it up. I have to talk it. I have to tell. So mostly, you see, if you go and talk to 10 people about somebody, that person becomes strong and they'll say, I'm like this. Some people say, if you want to correct me, don't correct me in front of others. Some people say that. Don't tell Chacha, Mama, Kaka about me. I don't like that. Then I'm like this one. So we need a lot of power to accommodate if you want to manage with others. The more I can accommodate, the more there is maturity. There is more, I become more of an experienced person. But weaknesses, everybody has weaknesses. But if you're throwing it all around, wherever you go, you're upset. Everybody in the house, everybody will know you're upset. That's not who is it. If everybody is looking at her that she's upset or she's, he's put off, he's not liking it, no power to accommodate. Yeah? And because there's no power to accommodate, everyone has to pick up those behavior behind you and clean it up. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work for others. I know people who can sulk for 3 days, not eat. This is also anger. Anger is not about shouting, no. Anger is also not talking. That is more painful for others. If you're just shouting and you finish it, but if you're keeping in your heart, not talking to anybody, walking through, even though you see them, you don't look at them, this is more painful. This is very, very painful. So this particular behavior actually reaches out and hurts people more deeply. So this is when there is no power to accommodate. They say kings don't cry in public. ऐसा नहीं कि उनको दुख नहीं है, होगा जरूर होगा, पर सबके सामने तमाशा नहीं करना. But I'm not saying you have to be hypocrite, that from outside you're smiling and inside you're burning. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is it's not necessary. If you go on talking about a problem, it expands. The more you're able to leave it, it finds its own solution. So, accommodation is such a power that I am digesting a problem. I'm digesting a weakness that I don't keep bringing it out through my face, through my behavior, through my decisions, through my choices, through my all that. That won't happen then. So this is power to accommodate. It's a very, very important power. A lot of people are not able to do that. Some people come and say, I want to talk to you. So when they talk about their problems for about, listen for an hour, and I can listen. And after that I want to tell them something, what they have to do. This is just, I don't have time. I need to go now. Meaning it's just discussing our problems and enjoying the feeling that, in psychology they say some people when they feel very low, what they do is they just go for outing or go with a friend to divert their mind or something. Some people they put on sad songs and sit. Hi, that kind of a thing. That's the power to accommodate. You have any questions about power to accommodate? Then comes the power to discriminate, which you asked me the question, I'll clarify here. This man here is rubbing the gold in the black stone, the goldsmith, and seeing whether it is real gold or not. Discrimination is to know what is real, what is false, what is right and what is wrong. Even if you know there is something right, if you do it at the wrong time, it is wrong. Somebody doesn't want advices, they're in a very mood off situation they're in. And you go on giving advices. What a plenty waste of time it is. See, we happen to have a family who comes. The grandmother fell in the bathroom. She fell in the bathroom, and so practically she's been taking care of the granddaughter since she's a child. She's always been there. Both of them have been working from the beginning, the parents. So when she fell down, she's 70 plus. And then later they came to know she broke an arm. And so she screamed from the bathroom because they have to know, and they brought her out there. And when they brought her out, they're like looking, calling up a doctor and this and that. And suddenly they looked around, the 16-year-old, the daughter, there's nowhere to be found. And then the mother, she ran to see where she is. She's sitting in the living room and she's properly couch and watching television. Because she was there when they went to the bathroom and breaking it and all that. She was there. And suddenly she's watching television. She so disturbed. The mother said, "You have no compassion for your grandmother who's taking care of you, and you're sitting and watching television." She said, "What is wrong if I watch?" So this is not right for you to do. She took the remote, the girl, and threw it on the couch, and she ran to her room and locked herself and won't come back out at all the whole day. So the mother called out and she told her sister, she has no compassion. कल उठ के की शादी करा देंगे तो वो लोग फेंक देंगे उसको बाहर. So she was going on telling them, the compassion के बिना कैसे रह सकते? क्या है this and that? And then I'll talk to her and she's calmer. No, अभी phone करो, अभी this is not the time. Explanation. As if she'll listen to me. If she's not listening to you, why would she listen to me? No, 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 it's not that. She insists. अभी a message करो. लेकिन नहीं होता. बाद में कर. I think 2 days, I don't know how many days later, she came to the center just like that. I saw her call up. I said, what's going on? Then क्या हुआ? She said, brought it mommy. And mommy didn't tell me anything, but there was some problem. No? Your grandmother fell down. What happened? She said, sister, I'm very close to my grandmother. Very, very close. I have never seen her cry. I've seen my mother cry. But I've never seen my grandmother cry. She's always been so strong. All her life. Even though she'll be having temperature, now she'll go to gardening. She's like that. She's always been active. To see her helpless is a scene I cannot bear. I cannot bear. And I just went off and I could not deal with it because if I cry and if she sees, she cannot bear it. She cannot see me cry, my grandmother. So I went off from there and I was feeling like crying and I don't want to cry. So I want to divert myself and put on the television. वो television में भी कुछ भी I'm not focusing, but my mind is elsewhere. My grandmother. And I'm trying to divert myself because I'm feeling like crying. And my mother, the most painful thing is that my mother doesn't understand. She comes and screams and says you have no compassion. My problem is not with compassion. My problem is how to cope with this difficult moment. She should come and tell me, बेटा कोई problem नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, नानी ठीक हो जाएगी. She should say something like that. She comes and says, है नहीं, तुम्हारे ये नहीं, तुम्हारे discrimination, परखने की शक्ति they call it. Anyway, discrimination. To be able to understand a person, to understand the situation, understand the mood, respond. Many times we do great things and wrong moments and then no results and then cry. Going on sowing very nice seeds in infertile land, what will you get? When I dedicated myself to the Brahma Kumaris back, then in 96, my friend called up and said, I want to come and meet you. I'm visiting Hyderabad. She was in Bangalore. So she said, I want to come and meet you. Can you go home? I'll come to your house and meet you. And would you mind wearing something color and not that white you wear? I said, look, I'm dedicated now. I don't wear color. And another thing is that my house is in Jubilee. So if you have to go, you have to pass by the center. That center in Nagarjuna Hills. You have to pass by. So why do you want to go all the way there? You come here, practical. She said, no, I don't want to come to this ashram. I said, what is the problem? I'm still your friend. Ashram or white or whatever, I'm still your friend now. Reluctantly she came, she sat right in the corner. And as she's sitting there on the couch, she's looking at me and then I wanted to share everything about how I came to Brahma Kumaris, what the experiences that I've had that I usually do with people. I want to share. But when I see her, I feel that she's not wanting to listen to that. So I kept listening to her. She talked about everything which is so unconnected to me and then she left happily. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was on the phone with her and she was telling me, Radhika, do you remember the first time I came to the Brahma Kumaris center? I said, yeah, I remember. She said, look, if you had spoken anything about Brahma Kumaris or anything about meditation, I would have never come back to meet you again or kept in touch with you. See, if I were to ask anyone in this world, is it wrong to talk about meditation? That's okay. It's very nice. But if someone is not looking for it, if someone is not really wanting to listen to it, and that is not a relationship they share with you, and you talk about it, it is wrong. You're not going to get any results out of it. No. If somebody is wanting peace, why are you giving love? चलो, आपके अंदर बहुत प्यार है, पर कुछ चाहिए नहीं आपका प्यार. मेहरबानी से कुछ छोड़ दोगे ना. You make about 36 varieties of food with lot of love. है तो बहुत प्यार से बनाए. But if somebody is coming to your house and saying, चलो एक glass पानी पिलाओ तो प्यास लगी है, I'm just so thirsty, can I drink some water? You say, नहीं, I made so much good variety food for you and you won't eat. You're not grateful. If somebody wants happiness, don't give peace. leave them alone. So what is the person requires? This is what I need to do. So over the time, if I am letting people take advantage of me in the name of goodness, it's very bad. If somebody is doing wrong, और मैं ये सोचूं कि ये मैं सहन करूँ, ये तो थोड़ी होता है. If your responsibility is to correct, you have to correct. चलो, not emotionally get involved, but करना है, you have to do what you have to do. So this answers your question. So discrimination is a very important power when you're living in the practical world. You cannot think, okay, I'm good. What is good? Good is what brings good results. It's not about going and screaming and shouting and getting a lot of people who will stamp people and climb up. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tactfully, not cunningly, tactfully, getting yourself through to somebody. Communicate, tell what you do not like. That's not the problem. हर चीज़ सहन करना ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. You can go there, look, I don't like this behavior. आप थोड़ा ध्यान रखो. मुझे दुख हुआ. I felt that pain when you said that. अब मैं आपको सुना दूँ. हाँ, आपने मेरे साथ ऐसे किया, ऐसे व्यवहार. Not too much. They say सत्यता को सिद्ध करना भी जिद है. You try to prove the truth is also stubbornness. If you want to present truth, it has to be in the right package, and that is when people will know it's the truth. If you are taking a diamond and putting a plastic cover and say this is a diamond, then throw it in the dustbin. Diamond comes in the best box. If gold comes in a good box, why not a diamond? So if it is truth, it has to be presented beautifully. You're emotional and you're just shouting about it and screaming about it. Then people put up with it, but they're not convinced. That is discrimination. How do you present yourself and what is the requirement of the moment? अब चलो आपका cheerful रहना आपका है बहुत अच्छा nature. You're cheerful. You can make a lot of people laugh. Congratulations, you're a beautiful virtue. But कोई दुखी है, रो रहे हैं because they lost somebody, then वहाँ जाके हंसी मजाक में सुन लेता. So that is what is important to know discrimination. You have any questions about discrimination?
Well, sister, one thing which comes to my mind in your first example, that daughter out of impulsive as she had to see the TV, her mother came and reacted the way you have narrated. In the world and in the common ways in the society, mother's behavior was very much in line. However, technically speaking, as you said, discrimination, definitely it was a mother's delay to understand what my child really had reacted for. So, I'm feeling, normally when such thing happens, they happen in a very short time. And something happens in a very short time, things are very impulsive. And nobody's brain is so sharp that they have sufficient time to analyze that somebody is reacting in the right way. So mother's reaction that time, if I were the observer, I would not bang the daughter, neither the mother I would have requested. But I feel that that mother's reaction was very socially compatible. I just wanted to put it.
See, it may be socially compatible, but the child will keep that impression for years to come. There are a lot of children who are not at all comfortable with the parents, and the parents are the ones that have to be most comfortable with, and they're not comfortable at all. What is the logic behind social compatibility when your child is not happy with you? So this is an excuse then. That is where meditation comes into the picture. If I'm not able to have control over my impulses, I need to meditate and calm myself so that I understand my child. That's a basic thing I need to do. I need to contribute. So sometimes what happens is that क्या हो जाता है कि चलो there is a glass of there is a vase kept here और बच्चे अगर आएंगे खेलेंगे करेंगे तो गिर जाता है. So as soon as you see it, you say, बच्चे यहाँ खेलने की जगह नहीं है, बाहर जाओ. This is not the place. Just get out. Don't do this. But if you're walking down and it falls down, you say, यहाँ कौन रखे यहाँ? Who kept it here? कि रखने की जगह नहीं है. So it's so easy to take it not on yourself but somebody else is, that they should behave properly. Meditation is taking personal responsibility. ठीक है, they can be wrong, but I take the responsibility how to rectify my attitude and thinking so that the problem is not really a problem now.
Being a social barrier, suppose around with mother there are 10 neighbors comes, they also react in the same manner कि mother even didn't teach daughter, 16-year-old daughter, कि how to behave.
No, that is not it. See, we don't go and manage a children on the basis of what the world thinks. But then we are having moments where we can sit and talk to her. क्या हुआ बेटा? Why did you come like that? What happened? You're spending your moments with your daughter. You don't have to prove to plenty others who come to your house once in a year that what your control over your children is. You're actually respected more if you're sitting and talking to her, your daughter. Instead of she locking herself in the room like that, you go with her in the room and talk with her. Both of you sit and talk. क्या होगा? You need a lot of patience for that. So because we don't have patience, that doesn't mean our behavior is justified now. Then comes power of decision making. Power of decision making, you can see there is a balance and then there are two weights. But what determines which has more weight is the needle in between. So this is more heavy or this is more heavy. If you're taking just one side of it, decisions are always wrong. Lopsided. In the sense I start thinking, okay, I like to do this, so I will do it. That's not a good decision. You can't go on doing what you like. If you keep doing what you like and what you're comfortable, you become very complacent. You can actually encourage your weaknesses very much. And your capabilities actually get suppressed. Decision making should be on the basis of using your capability to the highest extent and having the strength to sustain the right decision that you take. So many times what happens is we tend to go, tilt towards more about what is comfortable. Comfortable decisions are not always the right decisions. They say the very first step to success is to do what you don't like. करना ही पड़ता है. मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता, मुझे ये खराब, तो फिर सक्सेस नहीं मिलेगी. So whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in self-discipline, whether it's in a business or anything, it has to be. Some people come up and say, I want to do this business. Then I say, can you do this business before? No. And what do you want to do? This is how I want to invest. This is what I will do. So ये होगा तो I always ask them, if this is home, ये होगा पूरा पैसे चले जाएंगे. So I keep putting it. It's not about negativity. I want to see whether they're prepared. कुछ भी नहीं होता. How much power you have to predict the future of a business? Can you? There are people who are doing business for 30-40 years and not doing well in it now. अब किस आधार से आप बोल रहे हो कि कुछ नहीं होता? इतना है मैं all my friends are doing it and they're successful. Business is something is unpredictable. Unpredictable. So if you are not prepared in that extent and you're not thinking about it, it's not right. What is my capability? I should see my capability and make a decision, not on the basis of what is offered to you. Kai baar, what happens, people come and offer, a lot of things come up our way and people will offer us. But if let us say there is a peon in a company and he's offered a chairman position, वो तो डर जाएगा ना. Capacity होनी चाहिए. He will say, अरे बाप रे, हम नहीं संभाल सकते इतना बड़ा कंपनी. चलो, this is a very fortunate moment for me, but मैं नहीं संभाल सकता हूँ. It's very difficult for me, and he won't take it up. Same way, I should see what my capability is. Whether I'm able to do it or not, whether I can give justice to it or not. That is what I need to think. That is mature decision making. One girl, she is married and she settled in Hyderabad, working in a software company. उनकी जो project में जो थी ना, she would see her crying in the restroom every day. So she felt bad. She asked him, any problem you want to share? She said, no. She said, I know somebody. If you want, you can go and talk to her. So she said, please give me an appointment. So she came to meet me. As soon as she came, she said, I know my husband since 8 years and I married him. And he's always been studying out and all that. It took me some time to convince my parents to marry him because he's South Indian and this girl is a Punjabi. So, but then we got married. I said, very good. Now what is the problem? She said, no, 2 years ago, abhi shaadi ho gayi 3 mahine ho gaye. 2 years ago, she joined a software company and she met a boy there. And that boy is 10 years older than her, and he's very, that kind of boisterous and talking very nicely, and he's saying, why are you in this relationship for so many years? That boy is that right one, how would you know? You should not be stuck with just one boy. Something, I don't know what he told, we don't know. She got very influenced and very carried away, and she said, this is exactly what I'm going to do, is marry this fellow now. Her parents refused. They said, you're going to marry this boy? Committed to, and they got her married. The very first day when she got married, she sees the boy and she thinks, I am stuck with, I don't even feel that I'm married to this man. I don't feel I'm his wife. The feeling came, and since then she's very upset since 3 months and she's crying. So I told her, what do you want? She said, I've suggested my husband, I've suggested my parents that I want to go back to the boy. She said, what a fickle-minded thing it is. I said, 8 years you're with somebody, and suddenly how can you go, the sister is not sudden, 2 saal se main janti and all that. And I said, look, I'll tell you one thing. Your decision should be on the basis of what, not on the basis of what is offered to you. It's about the basis of your capability. That boy is coming in your life, he's saying, I'll take you, the word and everything. That boy, he went to AIMS, and he studied 1 year and said, no, I don't want to be a doctor, and he left and came. That kind of whims and fancies he lives on. So, and then suddenly he wanted to go on a road trip. So he's not settled kind of a boy. And so I said, look, with all my respects to this boy, he is not going to be settled down. Okay. Do you have the capability to manage his unpredictability? कभी भी बोलेंगे चलो हिमालय में जाके कॉटेज में रहेंगे. So you should be ready. चलो मुझे मजा आता है चल. You should be like that. Suddenly he'll say नहीं हमको, you don't need children, we have to travel a lot. Children. So you should be able to go with this unpredictability. तुम्हारे में है capability और you have the time. I want to settle down. है? इस प्रकार की व्यक्ति हो. Second, can you forgive yourself that you have been with somebody for 8 years and you left him? You can come to a conclusion like that. Or are you the kind of person that कुछ है नहीं? What I like is what I do. Are you that kind of personality? अपने आप को देखो पहले. Then you decide. She said, how would I know what capability I have? I said, then you should stop talking. All the conditions should be, all the disturbing conditions should be isolated. So you stop talking to that boy for about 8-9 months. Then even then you want to be with him, that is when you decide. अभी उनसे बात करते रहेंगे फोन पे, तो पता भी नहीं पड़ेगा. You won't even know what's going on. So what is it that you like to do? She said, I will try stopping talking to him. I said, not even message, not even Facebook, nothing. So more than anything, I don't know how long it took, but she got back to me 4 months later, 8 months bhi nahi hua. She's saying, I don't think so, he's the right boy. Because the minute I told her, it's getting to be 8, so I'll finish with this power and continue the rest of the powers tomorrow. So, and he said that, so no, I cannot talk to you. He's refusing. And I told her, if he really loves you, he will let go. Chalo 8 mahine ke baad milenge, he'll tell. If it's not, that means he is just taking advantage and distracting you. You understand that? So she said, after 4 months, she called me and she said, he's a bother. He's a real bother. But her problems have not ended because the husband is very upset that she's done this to him. अभी वो एक बड़ा तमाशा. She has to face that. Why should she tell him all that? So these are decisions, So this is decision making, and the capability to realize my capability, to have that recognition of who I am, and not going with what I like, will require a lot of strength. And so this decision, the basis of what you like, is so easy. लगता भी right है. So this is 3 more powers. Do I continue or do I do it tomorrow? Continue. So this is a quick, I'll go through. This is a power of cooperation अब ये देखिए, all fingers are lifting up a mountain together. It is understood that each one of us have different specialities, different virtues, different qualities. But each one of us put our energy into it, and that is when things become successful. We cannot expect everyone to be like us. मेरे अंदर बहुत patience है, so I expect everyone to be patient. Everybody, it's not possible. But their contribution is also necessary at the same time. So all of us put together can make something very successful. So this is cooperation. But cooperation is not just about, अरे चलो आप सब्जी काट रहे हो, हम भी आके आप भात बना देंगे, we'll come and cut vegetables with you. You're going and we give us a tent. This is not cooperation itself. There's a much more higher meaning for cooperation. If somebody is sitting and crying, you sit next to the person and cry along with them, that is not cooperation. Suppose, right? तो कई बार ऐसे ही होता है कि we think we are helping out someone to bring ourselves equal to somebody else's emotions and feel weak. That is not cooperation. You should bring them out of those tears. Cooperation is not just about going and helping someone with money or giving them, what they like. There's one man who has been giving money to his brother for so many years. He came to study his intermediate from Indore. He came to study and staying in the brother's house. Gap बहुत है. There are about 10 years gap between them. He's married and all. The younger one comes and, my God, that boy is married now. And that brother is paying for his rent. बच्चों के kindergarten की fees. What a point it's come to. And he takes up those petty jobs and leaves it and sits back again. He doesn't do anything. Nothing else. So he's telling me, बेंजी क्या करे मेरा भाई का? मैं कहा आप छोड़ दो ना. अरे कहाँ जाएगा? If I leave, if I don't give him rent and all, बेचारा क्या करेगा? ऐसा क्या करेगा? कुछ भी करेगा. What do you think is problem? अरे मैं ही हूँ, मेरे mother father तो village में. मैंने कहा that is what is the problem. You are thinking you're cooperating, but this is not cooperation. चलो आप यहाँ से you're going to Jubilee Hills and somebody says, please can you leave me near Khairatabad? Khairatabad कहाँ है? But you think okay no ठीक है ना करके you leave them in Khairatabad and go to Jubilee. चलो एक दिन कर लिए, 2 दिन कर लिए, and then the third time he comes, you are in a hurry. You will say no, I cannot drop. He'll become your enemy. Who's made him your enemy? And we think मैंने इतना किया तो और कौन करेगा? This is not cooperation. बिल्कुल है नहीं ये cooperation. This is only a lot of people say मैं ना नहीं बोल सकता. Don't think it's a virtue. It shows that you want to impress people. इसमें कोई there's nothing great about it. And I'm not saying you should put people down और अपना करते जाना नहीं यार किसी को बीमारी है कोई एक्सीडेंट हुआ चलो मदद करो ऐसा थोड़ी ना. But the thing is it's like getting fixated with the idea of being good. That is not cooperation. Cooperation really is giving good wishes to your mind. When somebody is going through a difficult thing, somebody was telling me that she is working on the computer seriously. It's very difficult particular thing she is working on, and her colleague he comes and says, नहीं होता. Standing there, नहीं होता. अब छोड़. अरे खुद करता नहीं, हिम्मत भी नहीं देता. Appreciate भी नहीं करते क्या करें? So through the mouth, appreciate it please, no? Appreciate. You're doing a good job. That's very nice. I won't be able to do like you. Something you tell. That is cooperation. You don't do anything but say good. In actions, you actually show some virtues that others don't see and think, what a great person. See, once I remember, we've met so many people, but we were giving program for Hindustan Petroleum, and so we happened to meet the chairman there. So they don't come and meet or anything. We had a program which was their computers say you can connect to everybody and they'll all watch you from
video
conferencing. So all people Mumbai office, so they were all from different parts of India. They all were there and we gave a lecture on attitudinal change. So the chairman also came and sat. He said, "Humko bhi sunna hai." So he sat and he heard through, and in front of all his board members, he's saying, "आपने जो सुना है right है, मेरे में ये weakness है." He's telling like that in front of his whole crowd. हिम्मत चाहिए. अपने टीम के सामने you tell about your own weakness. You know, so he spoke about that, and I was thinking, you know, he's really genuine and he really wants to look within and change. So we'll be getting out and we thank him, and he gets on the second floor, he gets off. So we thank him. हम उतरने वाले नहीं हैं. Then maybe he's going home. So we went down to the ground floor. He comes till our car thrown away. He need not come. Nobody expects us. He comes all the way to the car. See, humility है, respect है. तो करने, if you don't do it, it's not like we think he has no humility, नहीं. हम ऐसे सोचने वाले तो है नहीं, परंतु एक अंदर से है उनके, वहाँ तक आए, गाड़ी खोल के बिठाए में, thank you, आप आए इतना दूर, हमको खराब लगता है इस तरह का, what you feeling bad, खराब लगता है, आप कुछ भी पैसे भी नहीं लेते, कुछ भी नहीं लेते, आप आके सेवा कैसे करें, ऐसे दोनों आपको बहुत मिलता है भगवान से, अच्छा so lovingly he's speaking in not be so. So the thing is, through my behavior, I'm giving cooperation to the world. Through my virtues. अभी कितने लोगों को मिली होंगी, but I remember him now, and I also mentioned about him. So the thing is, cooperation is threefold. Mansa, vacha, karma. Not जाके going out of your way doing things and all. I'll tell you, if you give money, it's a problem now. Your best friend will become your enemy. I'm not being pessimistic, I'm being realistic. One lady, she's very well off. She told me a story. She bought her village one girl, one cook की daughter, cook जो उनकी daughter है. She's some Telugu medium first class studying. She got her into the city, got her into a good school. And the cook also came to Hyderabad, so they gave her out house to stay, and the girl was sent to St. Anne's school here in Hyderabad, and best education, and then she got a nice boy for her, got her married, because you know, they're so fluent and all that. Some family agreed to marry, and she's in America, settled there, and she's working, software engineer, husband also is doing well and all that. Her life only changed, she's living properly. खुशी की बात है ना, the girl came to Hyderabad, they made a house here, and गृह प्रवेशम के लिए they made a lot of cards and everything, इनको invitation नहीं मिला, अब देख लो कमाल, everybody went and everybody is calling and asking, how come you are not here? They said, I didn't get an invitation. ये कैसे हो सकता है? ऐसे ही होता है, ऐसा ही. Because what happens is that, you know, they don't want anyone to know that किसी की मेहरबानी से हम बनेंगे. There's always a point that comes that it becomes, you don't want anyone to know that इनकी मेहरबानी से हम अपने खुद से अपने आप बन गए. So this kind of, and maybe she's a reminder for the cook daughter that she is, just a reminder that she doesn't want to deal with it. I don't know what is it, but this lady is so hurt. She's saying, I will never cooperate with anybody. I said, cooperation का चित्र समझो आप. इंदौर के पास एक village है. There there's lot of problems with people who don't have place to live. So we went and approached the government, वहाँ इंदौर के center की तरफ से, and they got a land for all. The government gave them land. The corporate body gave them, you know, all the whatever they needed, they gave them, and they got not a big houses, 2 rooms, kitchen, and all that. So they made about 120 houses there, very nice ones. After about a year, the government people are calling Brahma Kumari Center again and again. आप आकर को देखो क्या करके गए, आकर क्या कमाल हो गया. So we went there, we saw all the people there have sold their houses and land and drinking properly. So cooperation मतलब किस प्रकार का cooperation देना, values नहीं है और आप पैसे देंगे तो क्या फायदा. In America, one man was homeless, sleeping on the street. So BBC wanted to do a social experiment and gave him $1 million. अब देख लो, 1 million मतलब 3 करोड़ हो गया. 5 crore government. So 5 crore दे दी उनको. अच्छा है ना, he jumped and with happiness and he said, thank you so much for the money you gave me. 1 year later, he was called for a talk show to interview him about what has happened to the beautiful money you got and what beautiful house you must be staying. So he comes there and he asks, where are you living now? The interviewer asks him, he says, Sabbe, what happened to the 5 crores, the $1 million? He said, Khatam ho gaye. Mana, how much ever you give, you will finish and again come to the same point. That is why you were in the street totally. So if you do not, if you think, like in GMR, there is a Varalakshmi Foundation. They are doing a beautiful job. They are doing programs with their college and their hospitals and everywhere for the staff. They are doing a program. So the one who is heading that GMR Foundation, he is telling me, sister, we are so disappointed. Around the airport area, before airport came up, they have approached all the villages there, जो 10th fail है, 7th fail है, inter fail है, उन सबको लेके they giving a what you call vocational training. So they have a beautiful institute. If you can go there, airport के opposite है. It is like a beautiful institute और सोने के लिए भी जगह इतना अच्छा बना हुआ है. It's very nice. So you can stay there. The food is free. Very good dormitory, very good kitchen, and the Voltas and और कौन सी जगह थी? All different Hero Honda. They're all coming and training them how to repair bikes, how to repair fridge and AC and everything, and they have a workshop, all free. Totally free. 3 months course. Voltas people are only taking them into the job. So they're taking 25 people per each batch every 3 months. So the lady is telling it is so difficult to get people for this course. And even if you give 3 months and put them into that Voltas company, Hero Honda, 1 week they do it, they run away. They said we don't want to work so hard. अभी वहाँ से जाना वहाँ और शाम तक बैठ के करना हमसे नहीं आता. So we talk about cooperating poor and this and that. It is very important to understand that poverty is in values, not in money. So what is the biggest cooperation you can give is through strength. Not through, they say Mansadan, Mahadan. What you can cooperate through your mind is the highest. So the one who was running that foundation, she was saying, I'm very disappointed. What thought I took and I'm doing. And they're all from IIM and all that. And they're saying, so disappointed. And then the second last one is power to withdraw. You see the tortoise there. And it is walking around, and when there is no work, it withdraws and only a shell remains. Even an elephant goes over it, nothing happens to it. It lives for many years. How many years does it live? 150 or something? 150 years strong, and it keeps going on. The thing is, I'm doing everything. I'm connected to the world. When there is absolutely no need, I can withdraw and go within and see that I'm really a soul. And am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? What's going on? Is it okay what I'm doing? इस प्रकार का रिएक्शन होता है कि ऐसा रहना चाहिए. वैसे अपने अंदर देखना बहुत जरूरी है कि बार-बार I have to look within. I have to introspect again and again. If I withdraw and look within again and again, what happens is I know the enemy within me first. If I'm not understanding the enemy within, the outside situation will eat me up. They tell the story in Golconda Fort. Enemies came and inside spy opened the gate to the enemy. So the king didn't know there was a spy inside his fort. So then he was attacked, all the glory of Golconda is gone. Same way, the enemy, if I don't recognize within me some sensitivity, some little thing I'm stuck with somewhere in the past, if I'm not recognizing that, all the situations outside will give me irritation, anger. The problem is inside actually. कोई guilt होगा, पहले उसको पहचानना. So that is why withdraw. Again and again look within and recognize what's going on within you. Final power is the power to pack up. यहाँ दिखा है कि सब packed up luggages है, which means I got all the things like let's say 5:30 is my flight and at 4:30 I'm ironing my clothes. How is that good to tell? I have everything packed up and kept in my cupboard, so the right time I have to go and I put it in my bag and run. And this is an example. But pack up is like, I have all the issues of the past still hanging in my mind. Khatam kuch bhi nahi hua hai. Like wires are hanging and not winded up inside the wall. So anytime I can get a shock, no? Full stop lagana. Pack up is full stop. Jo ho gaya, so ho gaya, theek hai, pick it. hanging. Somebody was telling, sister, I just remember something which happened 20 years ago. अब मेरे को नींद नहीं आ रही. तो 20 साल के पहले जो अभी क्या नहीं मैं भूल नहीं पा रही. बहुत दुख. What a horrible time I had. When I go abroad, भारत में थोड़ा कम है. But if I go abroad, I see everybody who comes. Go to talk for meditation course बाद में. पहले सुनाना है. मेरे चाइल्डहुड कितना खराब हुआ. अरे चाइल्डहुड खत्म हो गई ना. They said no, I was in a room locked up. My mother locked me, and the 2 hours I was there. वो 2 hours के आधार से अपना जीवन है अभी. पूरा जीवन बर्बाद हो गया. 2 घंटा मैं वो रूम में बंद हो गई. मेरी माँ ने मेरे को बंद किया. बस हो गया काम. So you're all your life you're stuck. So this is no ability to pack up. Every time you talk about the past and you have to cry, that means there's no backup. ये हुआ मेरे साथ, वो हुआ मेरे साथ. One lady, her mother-in-law died 3-4 years ago. Still now she talks to the mother-in-law and cries. The only she's nowhere in her life now. All these powers are within us. It's there within us.
Face.
Oh, I missed this. Is it now? Sorry. Power to face is a very important power. It's a very important power. That is, when I'm facing a situation, the ability to accept it, not question it. You need a lot of power for that. If you keep questioning that situation, it starts growing and taking over you. जितना आप सिचुएशन को चैलेंज करेंगे उतना वो मन को खींच लेता है. It takes on the mind totally. So the ability to accept and not question it and let it go. छोड़ो तो छोड़े. So that is when you can actually become an inspiration for many. Our life is not for ourselves. A lot of people are watching a situation. What does people do? We are totally finishing ourselves in that situation. That means we're not strong enough. See, when you have the power to face, you will find a solution easily in the mind. Or else you're questioning and questioning and questioning because you're attached to the problem. To find a solution from a problem, to get detached. I'll tell you how. My friend was, she's still an air hostess in Indian Airlines, and she was in a plane which got hijacked in Kandahar. She was in that plane. Hyderabad crew was there in it. So she was in the plane and she saw one man got up and he looked at the hijacker and said, "Kaun hai? Tu kaun hai?" You don't question a hijacker who he is. In a hijacked plane, the power to face is to be calm and not say a word. Accept that you are there. But he challenged a hijacker and the hijacker killed him. He's the only one who was killed in the whole plane. Now, there's another man in the same plane, the row that Kalpana, my friend, was serving. He told my friend that I have stomach cancer and I'm going through a lot of pain. So he'd go on continuously. I need to get a surgery done, and he would share this. So they communicated the pilot and the hijacker said, what do we do with this person because he's having stomach cancer and he's vomiting, he's going to the bathroom again vomiting blood. So then the hijackers decided a nuisance because he's there and he's going on being with everybody else, he'll get more tension and all, so get him out. So they took him out and he went home. So when my friend came back to Hyderabad after 8 days they were there on the plane, when she came back she called up the Malhotra from Delhi. She called him up just to ask him how he's doing. So she asked, where are you, sir? Are you in the hospital? He said, no, I'm not in the hospital at all. So your stomach cancer is okay, you're doing well. What stomach cancer? I don't have what? I'm a fool to stay there for so many days like you all. The more you have the power to face, the more calmer you are, you will find a solution and a way out for yourself. You will tension. Never, solution will never come. You will, whatever way you will get, you will keep running after that. That's not the way. That is not the way. When 9/11 happened, one of our brothers from New York Center, he's been meditating by then for 18 years. So he's been working on the 32nd floor. So suddenly they thought it was a bomb. They didn't know it was a plane crashing into the thing. So they were all going down. He said the most horrible situation was people, chaotic people were the big problem actually. That bomb to chodo. लोग ऐसे हैं, they are showing different directions and they're going crazy, they're not focused, they're running here, they're running there, they're shouting, they're screaming, they're only creating fear, that's all there was. So he thought to himself, the only way out is climbing down. Lift mein to chadna hi jana hi. So he started going down the steps until wherever I can reach. This is the only path down. The fire extinguisher people are going up, burnt people are going down. It took him hour and a half to come down. He's going, and in all this journey, he picked up some people on the way. Come with me, God is with us, God is with us, don't worry, don't worry. So he took a lot of people, and they saw him, they thought he's a leader, and they started following him. They came out, crossed the path, and the whole building fell. And just 2 minutes later. So all those people asked him, where did you get the strength to say, God is with us, come with me? Because everybody is running. How would you face वो गया ना, अभी bomb हो गया, फिर क्या करना? The spontaneity and the presence of mind. Even if you learn all the karate in the world, अभी वो टाइम पे थोड़ी ना याद आएगा 1, 2 and 3 to hit. No, how much power is here is what you will do there. Somebody was telling, I'm going to teach my daughter karate. You should teach your daughter first meditation. So that the presence of mind, she will know how to protect herself. If she has fear, she'll cry, scream, and make it more difficult. When chore will come inside the house, he wants to steal, he doesn't want to kill. Unmanageable people are in the house, so he will kill. Because he is full of fear. One 14-year-old, 16-year-old boy were there in the house, and the chore came inside. Immediately, the girl 14-year-old showed him where the money is. She asked, do you want silver? I know where it is. Everything she showed around the house, she gave him fruity to drink, everything she did, and he went out happily. The police said, look, the money is gone, but the children are safe. And the most important thing is that he actually threw a stone on somebody just before he came to you. He is capable of killing. So, power to face, meaning the problem has a solution within it. First I need to bring it here. Calm yourself. Without being calm, you are going to create problem for everyone around. I have so many examples, it will be 9 o'clock. So, okay. So, thank you. The final thing what I would like to tell you is all these powers are within us. It is there. One mother who lost her son, you know this Mufakamja college? Indian college? That boy was studying final year, he was going to US, so he told his mother, I want to go to Goa. But then he, kya Goa ka craze hai? I want to go. He, mother, one only child, job. It came in the newspaper, so it was Aditya. He went there, drowned and he died. With his friends he went. And so the mother, when she was brought to the center, she was like, hosh nahi hai bilkul. You can understand how she's just sitting, what she's wearing, how her hair is, nothing. She's not even concerned. So she already 6 months over after her son died. She's totally not in the situation to listen also. But as we're talking, said, no, Aditya is not gone anyway, his soul is all that. Then I went to Mumbai. By the time I came back, he was very, very bright and she's doing well. And she's saying, pata nahi kahan strength aa gayi meditation karte karte. Kitni strength aayi mujhe laga. First time I'm opening my door of my son's room. I'm opening today. She went to open. She said that rona to aayega. But she said there is a stone on my heart which is melting now. I feel that heaviness, no, it's melting and I'm able to face it now. I mean, it's okay, and though she was like finished. And then finally what happened was, she said she comes and says, Beti, mujhe kuch karna hai. The kind of benefit I got from meditation, I want that for everybody. So people who go through this pain, I only can understand. So there was another lady whose son was also from the same college and he was in a different batch. He went to Goa. He told mommy, I want to go to Goa. I said, you know what happened, Aditya, you're not going. He said, Mama, once I go abroad, I can never spend time with my friends. Please, he said, no. So he put a letter in the room and left. Can you believe that? Or Lake House ke andar Pune. Gaya Goa. And there he did some experiment with some drugs and he died. They took the body and came, the friends. The mother is shocked and she's crying. As soon as she came to know, when she told me, she called me and said, I'm going to her. I have to go meet her. I don't know her personally, but I can understand her. I'm going there. So she went immediately to her, and that lady comes to me and she tells me, Sister, I cannot listen to anybody but her. What she tells, I feel it's true because she's gone through it, and I know she knows what she's become. So I only listen to her. These two then, they tell me the third person, some far off family friend, unki daughter, architecture, she ate some food and it got stuck in the thing in the night and died in the night only. Architecture second year, nice girl. They took me there to that house and said, you speak here. And I went there. All the family members came and said, we want to listen to this. So power to face is, you start helping others. It doesn't limit yourself here. It's a very important power. So these are all the 8 powers that we have within us. But if you buy a car and it's a very good one and you think he got me a chair, we cannot use it outside in Hyderabad roads. So bad. So we keep it in the house, polish it, show to everybody, itna mileage hai, ye hai, wo hai, but we never use it. So what happens? It gets rusted and it gets discharged and everything. Same way these powers are within us, discharged, not being used. They're there. Nam mantra, but it has to be given charge. The more I'm connecting to God, the more it starts getting charged, and you start seeing it in life gently and slowly. This is about the 8 powers, the 8 arms of Durga. Okay, they're very important powers, no?
Yes.
Very, very important powers. So this is a very, very lamba class actually. This 8 powers. I usually take 2 days for it, but I took it off in one go.